live yet. Let me say. Okay, now we're live. It says you are live. Y'all, what's up? Welcome to Vetted with Irving Fryar and Hollis Thomas. I'm Irving. That's my dog over there. Big dog, Hollis Thomas. Yes. Holla at me.
You want the read now?
No. I just wanted to complain just for a minute. We were fussing. Okay. Yeah, we were just having a conversation here, and little technical difficulties. Can't hear our producer. Is that what he is? Producer? Yeah, technician. I would go call him technician. We can't hear our producer, so we didn't know exactly when to start. But we were having a conversation. We'll get back to that conversation in a minute. But welcome everybody to Vetted. Again, I'm with Irving Fryar and Hollis Thomas. I'm Irving. That's Hollis. Hollis, do your read. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, Hollis Thomas here. And the Eagles schedule is out. So go to phillysportstrips.com and reserve yourself a trip today and watch the Birds games with the likes of myself. We stay at the best hotels, and we have the most tremendous time in each of the opposing cities. So go to phillysportstrips.com. Tell them the Tank sent you and that you heard this on A2D Radio.
Man, that's just awesome, bro.
That was off the top of my head.
That was off the top of your head.
Yeah, I was trying to write. It was so many ways to tell them to go to go to phillysportstrips.com. And I sometimes when I do the reads and somebody's writing them for you, it's kind of like
why don't you write your own reads?
That's what I've been doing. The funny part is when I read some of them, I was like, are they trying to be racist on the slide here? It's like, because it's like somebody be like, yo, or hey. It's like, have I ever gave you the notion that I speak on that?
Speak like that
on that platform. So, but yes, phillysportstrips.com. The Eagles schedule is out. Go pick your away game. We stay at the best hotels, and we've got some quality trips for you, though.
All right, that's it.
Yeah.
Listen, we were having a separate conversation, but we're going to get into what it is we want to talk about today. We want to do our agree to disagree question or phrase. Today? You didn't know what it is today?
No, what is it?
Put it up there. Thank you. Ralph is on point, boy. Ralph, you are the bomb. You hear me? You are the man. The Eagles defense will lead the league in sacks in 2023. In other words, they'll lead the league. The Eagles defense will lead the league in sacks again.
Yes.
In back-to-back years. Do you agree or do you disagree? For me, I agree.
I agree as well, sir.
I agree. Yeah, I believe they have enough, and that just kind of segues us into what we want to talk about first here in the show about Sean Desai and how he's going to use all of these different tools or players that he has, these weapons that he has on defense. This defense has been it's lost some players, but I think the players that have been lost have been replaced.
Yeah.
And I'm really looking for Jacoby Dean to step up and to make a difference. When you watch the limited amount of time that he played last year, he was a flash on film.
Right.
He was always in the picture. He was always around the ball. He was always making a difference when he was on defense. Now I know he played a lot of special teams last year, but when he had the opportunity to come in and play on defense, he was the man.
The funny thing is, it's funny that you mentioned that because, being an Eagles fan and all the fans can attest to this. It's been a while since we've seen exactly what a linebacker does. And when he did it, I was like, oh, so that's what a linebacker's supposed to do. Oh, did you see the way he went and knocked that guard off? So the guard can so that the defensive tackle can have a single team. And did you see the way he went in the backfield and shot the gap? And then he who hesitates masturbates. You don't hesitate when you're a linebacker and you see that opening, you go get it, and you go get it now. That's what I love about this kid. His eyes doesn't lie to him. We had linebackers in the past who would hesitate, and then last year we had TJ Edwards, and I felt like he made some quality strides. But I don't think he's the same kind of kid this is. This kid has got that instinct.
You know what, TJ Edwards, in my opinion, again, this is always my opinion. I played wide receiver. I did play defense in high school, a little bit in college when I first got there. I studied defenses for 17 years in the NFL, so I do know a little bit about linebackers, a little bit about corners, a little bit about football, just a little bit, y'all.
Just a smidgen.
Just a smidgen. And TJ Edwards, what's up, Brian? I see you, bro. Thank you for being with us today.
What's up, Beef?
Yeah. TJ Edwards was a liability in the coverage game.
Yeah.
He just could not. He was a liability. He was not an asset. And teams started to figure that out. So we did get skunked a few times or burned a few times with TJ Edwards having to cover tight ends or cover the back coming out of the backfield. He just did not do a good job of that. He did tackle well. He did kind of fill the gap well and hold down those other responsibilities. But when it came to the passing game, he just didn't have the feet. Yeah. He didn't have the ability to be able to hang in there with the quicker backs and the bigger tight ends.
Well, and this is the thing too that I knew that Jacoby Dean was going to eventually take over, because if TJ took a false step, he didn't have the quickness or the speed to recover for it. And I feel like Jacoby Dean has that speed, and he's going to rarely make this step, even though TJ rarely made this step. But when he did, it cost us big time. Right. And when you get against a better competition, they're going to give you what we like to call sugar. You're not supposed to eat it because you don't want any cavity creeps. So it's like when they give you that sugar, you're supposed to be sure. Be sure of the cure, because it's the most jacked up part is you take that sugar, especially like case in point with the old school Marshall Falk, when he gave you that little sugar, wiggle. We call it sugar when he leaned that shoulder in there, and you dive for it, and as he's running around you and everybody's pointing at you and laughing in the film session, that's what we call sugar.
Is that sugar?
Yes, he gave you sugar.
It sounds like salt to me.
Well, actually, me and my esteemed colleague Hugh Douglas used to call it tickets to the matinee show. Tickets to the matinee show. Because he had you pretty much sitting there like, okay.
Yeah. So he made a show out of it. But so what kind of, in your opinion, what do you think Sean Desai is going to do this year? Obviously, he's been there. I mean, I know he's new. Yeah. And he's got quality players. He's been a defensive coordinator for the Bears one time. Right. For 1 year. Right. He's been in football 11 years. Right.
He was just with Pete Carroll in Seattle. I do like the fact that he went out there and learned it. I think he's going to bring a tougher secondary. He's going to be able to disguise some coverages, which a lot of times people, and I said this when I was over there at the barbecue last week. I was like, we need some zone pressures. He was like, I haven't heard that in a while. So you spoke up when you were with the players and the coaches. Okay. Damn, Skippy. It was like, so the zone pressures, a lot of people, I explained it to you once before, you're still rushing four maybe five guys there, but you don't know which ones. And so the zones are tight zones, and it looks like man, but it's not. And what we're looking to make you do is to get the ball out of your hand on the hot routes. Unbeknownst to you, we've got a defensive end, possibly a right underneath where you're trying to go.
So let me ask you a question. I mean, Jonathan Gannon did a fairly good job. Well, not even fairly. Let me just give him his roses.
He did a good job.
Yeah, he did a great job. Led the league in sacks last year. So he did a good job. It wasn't necessarily him obviously playing on the field. It was the talent that he had. Right. So he really, just in my opinion, I don't think that he felt he needed to be real creative, because the guys were able to just win, up front. They were winning up front, getting sacks and putting pressure on the quarterback. So they were very disruptive. So in his mind, he didn't need to create, be creative in his schemes.
You call a bullheaded,
but it came to bite him in the butt in the Super Bowl, because when you play against a guy like Mahomes, who understands defenses, even though he's only been in the league 5 years, but he's been successful all freaking 5 years. And Andy Reid, you got to be a little creative. You got to change things up a little bit. But this guy Desai, even when he was the defensive coordinator for the Bears that 1 year, he blitzed the sixth least
I know.
in the league.
But see the people think when I say blitz, you have to put them on notice.
Right.
So a zone blitz is not a blitz.
It's not a blitz.
They call it a blitz because you don't know who's coming. Mm-hmm. That's why I called it a zone pressure. Mm-hmm. That's why they understood when I said zone pressure. It's like it's called a zone pressure because we line up in the look that you've seen. But then our four linemen
something else happens.
Yes, our four linemen touch. It is some are going for the win, but it's a couple that's probably going to drop out of there, and you don't know if it's the linebacker and the safety coming, or if the corner and the safety is coming. You don't know who's coming. It's going to be four guys coming, but the guys up front don't have the wherewithal to be able to turn and move around that way.
Right.
And by the time the quarterback knows what's going on, he should be on his back,
Mm-hmm.
and we should be backfield bull of him.
It's kind of the same thing that happens on offense. We'll line up in a certain formation and motion a certain way, and normally you'll see this route combination, or you'll see the back doing this, and we do the same thing or the same formation, but do something else.
Right.
So it's kind of the same concept, so to speak.
Close to it, yeah.
But Desai has a lot of talent that he can use in multiple ways. I mean, like a guy, as we were talking about, Jacoby Dean. Jacoby Dean can do multiple things.
Right.
Jalen Carter, who we just drafted, he can actually do multiple things. He can not just rush the passer,
Right.
you know,
Exactly.
but he can stop the run.
Exactly.
Nolan Smith, he's like Hassan Reddick.
Right.
He can rush and he can cover.
But this is the one thing that I don't think we utilize as well, and this is where the zone pressures come in. What you do is you take those guys that we were just speaking of who could do multiple things, and you put them in position to make plays. You put them in a position to go get the quarterback right now. Put him on his back. You let him know which gap is going to be open, and you send them through that gap. That's why you got to make sure that it's simple and to the point, because it's like when you start thinking, you study long, you study wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to make it, and then that way you're dictating to the offense what you will be able to do. I'm not here to watch all those bells and whistles. I'm not here to watch that. Your quarterback can't do a jack if he's on his back.
Jack if he's on his back. I like that. And I think it's important for the Eagles this year, because of the schedule that we're going to start talking about here in a little bit. I think it's important for them to establish that mindset, to establish their will on the offenses that they're going to face this year early in the games.
There's no reason why when we come up against quality competition, they should not fear our defense as well. Nobody feared our defense some people, they feared our defense because their offensive line sucked.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like with stripe to stripe, it's cool to do that a little bit and during the game. But not only does it get old when you play against a quality competition and quality coaches, they're going to do something to gain the edge on you. We need a coach. We should, hopefully Sean is that coach that is able to match wits with coaches. I was like, oh, so you want to do this? I got something for you. We didn't have none of that last year.
Right.
We were the laughing stock of the coaches, especially in that Super Bowl.
We were just a laughing stock in the Super Bowl. We weren't the laughing stock of the coaches during the year, because we ended up 14-3. We had a great record. We had a great run. We had some great games during the regular season and even the playoffs. Yeah. We just ended up, falling on our face. And it wasn't a bad game. We didn't get blown out. It was just a few bad calls from the coaches.
If we have a quality defensive coordinator, that game wouldn't have even been close. You have a guy back there on a high ankle sprain, and you do not send more than 4 people at him at no point in time. Man, please.
Yeah, you're right. It was
a comic book.
They played as though they did not fear our defense, and our big players, our big time players, the Sweats and the Hassan Reddicks, who have been wreaking havoc during the season, they did not show up in this game. No, they did. They played 1-on-1 and they got blocked.
They played 5-on-4
or 5-on-4 and they got blocked.
6-on-4
and 6-on-4.
Yeah, that's you always going to get blocked in that situation.
Well,
but
they did that during the season, and were able to win.
But during the season, it's like once our offense got out there and kick you around and kick you in your teeth a little bit, and now you have to pass. So now I can kick your ass. See, when you get to a point where they're going tap for tap with us, it's like your coach doesn't give you. It's kind of like your coach.
Thomas said, "Preach." Is Hollis preaching right now? He said, "Preach, Hollis."
Well, when your coach, when you go, and I use the term war not too loosely. When you're going out there and your coach gives you a knife in a gunfight, what the hell do you think is supposed to happen?
You're gonna lose.
It's like help me, help you. It's like help me, help you.
Help me, help you. Help me. What movie was that? Help me,
Jerry Maguire.
Help me, help you.
It's like, but when you don't give the guys, you didn't give them any movements, anything. If that's just like me, if the DB was standing in front of you, you knew what he was going to do every time.
Well, I'll tell you what.
You would torture him, even in your waning years now. If you do everything he was going to do exactly before the ball.
In my what years?
Yeah, waning years.
Did you just call me old?
No, I just said waning years.
Waning years.
Waning.
Oh, waning.
Yeah,
you still said, you just said I'm old.
Okay, now that you're a little, not you're a little longer than two.
You just called me. Now I'm longer than two. All right. With that said, we're going to commercial. We'll be right back.
Hey, Birds fans, the NFL schedule has arrived and Philly Sports Trips has all the details now. Visit the site phillysportstrips.com. This is sure to be an epic season. Be sure to go there now to make sure that you don't get shut out. Join us in Tampa, LA, Seattle, or when we get revenge in Kansas City. Don't want to fly? No problem. Gather up your crew and hop aboard one of our signature boisterous bus trips to DC or New York. Sign up now and make sure to mention A2D. Don't miss out on the best Philly fan experience anywhere. Philly Sports Trip customers always stay at the best hotels and meet NFL legends. Book today.
Hey, Ralph, we just figured out why we couldn't hear you because I didn't have you turned up.
It's like, what's wrong with you, Ralph? You don't know what you're doing back
Yeah,
there?
no, I don't know what I'm doing on this side. I didn't have you turned up in my interface, Ralph. Sorry about that, my friend. You could have been a part of our conversation earlier today as we were talking about all that personal stuff.
Yeah, we're just getting out of the way.
But
some quiet time.
Yeah,
some therapeutic time. I had a quick question for you.
You sure you want to ask me this question?
Yes, sir.
You sure?
Yes.
Okay.
Given the magnitude of which we went out and shored up our defense, and we are getting a new defense coordinator, how many weeks are you giving them for them to start, putting the whooping stick down?
Week 1.
Okay.
You got to start right from the beginning. This is not practice. They have preseason.
Okay. And it's only 2 preseason games, but
I thought it's 3.
I think it's 2.
There's 3. There's 3. Yeah.
Deepest apologies. Sorry.
Yeah. There's 3 preseason games.
Okay.
They've knocked it down from 4. We used to have 6 when I played.
Oh God, we do. Quick sidebar. When I first got to the Saints, when I first got traded to the Saints, we had a damn bye week during training camp.
A bye week.
And he was in there. He was in there like a young Bill Parcells practicing us. 2 practices a day, full gear, damn near 3 hours.
Yeah.
And hold up, and down in Jackson, Mississippi, after it was the one day after practice, he said, "All right, everybody online." I said, "What?"
Listen, the first time I didn't have to go through a preseason like that, where it was, full pads twice a day, 2.5 hours, almost 3 hours sometimes. The first time I didn't have to do that was when I came here to the Eagles. but my 9 years in New England, my 3 years in Miami, they were like that. Every preseason training camp was hell. It was a dogfight. It's a dogfight. But no, they got to come out swinging week 1. Like I said earlier,
it was just kind of a question because the one thing that I do know is when you put it in a new system, but it's a little different for defense. I think we're going to come out kicking teeth out, but I'm talking about like fully dominate. I'm talking about like where it's like teams are so scared of us that they're laying down. They're laying down.
But if you want that to happen, you got to start from day 1. Right. And I think based on the first game of the season they have with the Patriots, though it's in New England, I think based on what New England's going to produce on the field and what they have the capabilities of doing, which I don't think they even belong on the field with the Eagles,
right?
That the Eagles can establish that week 1. They should be excited. They should be eager. They should be healthy. They should be fast, and they should dominate that game defensively. Right. And they should establish the fact that we're going to do this every game that we play this year in 2023 and make our way back to the Super Bowl. And everybody's on notice starting week 1. Yeah. That's a conversation they need to be having in the locker room. That's a conversation that should have already been started by Coach Desai. That's a conversation that we all need to be talking about as fans, that this defense is for real and they're going to step on the field every time and they're going to play 60 minutes and they're going to be very, very stingy, going to be physical, and you're not going to be able to know what's happening because they're going to be flying all over the place.
Mainly get off the field on 3rd down. The one thing that and I know everybody who's anti Jonathan Gannon, I was like, the bend but don't break crap is like when you're in a tight game, your defense starts to get tired, and they bend, but bend. Right. You might give up a field goal, but then your offense is on the side. If the opposing team has a decent defense, your offense is on the side, not getting reps.
Right. Well, when you go 3 and out and go 3 and out and go 3 out defensively,
right,
and you're stopping the offense of the other team, that's again like an offense running the ball on the defense when the defense knows they got to run the ball.
Exactly.
It's very deflating, it's very depressing, and it's very, debilitating to a defense. Just like an offense, if we're 3 and out and 3 and out and 3 and out, that's, that causes problems psychologically, emotionally.
Because the defense, 3 and outs equals 1 turnover.
There you go.
That's what we scored things in the defensive meeting rooms at the end of games. 3 and outs is like a turnover, because the one thing that you don't want the other team to do is get any rhythm going, but you want to continue to get the ball back to your offense to get them going. Especially like say that happens, what you said, 3 and outs, and then we come out and we give up a damn 8 to 12 play drive.
Right.
Well, and then y'all gonna come back out. We're gonna be expecting y'all to get something going, but we haven't given y'all a reason to.
Right.
A lot of people talk about, well, the defense is tight. Well, you play defense. You get paid to play defense. Do your damn job. Don't worry about anything else.
Well, it also creates, when you talk about 3 and outs, it also, for an offense, it creates field position for the team. Right. It creates field position. And the game is all about real estate. It's all about position on the field. If we have a short field, or if we have a long field, makes a big difference. So if we're having to go 80 yards every time we get the balls in offense 75. To score a touchdown or to get points.
It's 75 now.
75.
They added the rule for the fair catch.
I'm saying when they punt and stuff, yeah. So if we have to go the long field as opposed to 50 or 40 yards, that's 2 or 3 or 4 first downs that we've got to get, or we don't have to get, based on you stopping them. So yeah, those 3 and outs actually change field position for the offense, and it creates a short field for the offense, and less work for the offense. So
now what do you expect them to do? You said you've already spoke about his low blitzing tactics. Do you have any his other stats from when he was with Chicago?
No, I don't. I just have that. I just created that blitz, or I saw that blitz one that he blitzed when he was the defensive coordinator with the Bears, calling the plays defensively. He blitzed the 6th least in the league. So he didn't. But again, there's a definite definition of blitzing, where you're sending guys. We're talking about being creative in terms of making it look like one thing, but really doing something else.
I learned this from Sean Payton as well. Getting matchups, getting the upper hand on matchups, right? And I think I see him trying to do that with our guys, getting the upper hand on matchups, getting matchups that are in our favor. It's kind of like when you see a running back. Let's see, when we had Reggie Bush, they wanted to get Reggie Bush matched up on a linebacker. Right, because that's in our favor. So you use motion and stuff to do things like that. I can see him doing some things like that to get the center like by himself, because the center for most teams is the lightest person. I can see him getting one of our big dogs on there to run him back into the quarterback's lap. So
Jordan Davis,
Jordan Davis. Yes.
Jordan Davis has got to really make.
He's got to make some headway. Yes.
Yeah, he's got to make some improvements this year. I guess everybody's giving him a bye. For me, having been a first-round draft choice, he doesn't get a bye for me, because I didn't get a bye as a first, although I wasn't very productive my rookie year as well. But I did make gains, and most people do in the NFL. They make their biggest advances from their first season, rookie season, into their sophomore season. So we should see, I would like to see, and I'm anticipating and expecting to see great improvement from Jordan Davis this year. Not playing. I know he was hurt for a little while.
Yeah. The ankle sprain is hard for a big dog.
For a big guy,
to come back from, especially during the season.
Right. And I got injured my rookie year as well. So he knows, he understands. He's been in it for a year now. So I think I would look myself for not just Jacoby Dean, but also Jordan Davis to make some big gains, because he's going to make a big difference. Man, can you imagine putting him and Jalen Carter right next to each other?
Can you imagine putting him, Jalen Carter, and Fletcher Cox right next to each
other? Right next to each other.
And lining up Hassan Reddick to one side, and possibly Sweat to the other side, and then lining up Nolan Smith at linebacker. And watching the quarterback's face to
freak out.
Try to figure out which one of those 3 linebackers are coming.
and Desai has those kinds of tools to play with, those kinds of weapons to play with. So it should be very interesting. You know, obviously we have the injury part that we play that plays a big part every season when it comes to players. So, but he's got depth as well. So even if someone does get injured, he's got depth behind them to continue to do whatever it is he puts in place from week to week. So it's going to be very interesting. But I don't give them any leeway. I don't give them any play. I don't give them any slack. They should come out of the gate running full speed, causing pressure, wreaking havoc, because that's what a defense is supposed to do. Now you have the players to do that.
Well, we already had the players. We just didn't have the architect.
Right. Well, I mean, with the addition of Nola Smith, man, that's just
about the architect, meaning the Jonathan Gannon. He's
right. Just put those guys one-on-one. You put them one-on-one, and they're going to win.
Yeah.
Sweat's going to win one-on-one.
Yeah.
Carter's going to win one-on-one. Jordan Davis is going to win one-on-one.
Yeah.
Fletcher Cox is going to win one-on-one. Brandon Graham's going to win one-on-one.
Yeah.
Nola Smith, he's going to win one-on-one.
Yes.
Hassan Reddick, you know what he's going to do one-on-one. So put him in a position so it's not 4 rushing against 5 or 4 rushing against 6. But like you said, let's do 5 against 5. Throw another guy in there, rush him. So it's one-on-one, and we'll get to the quarterback and cause a lot of problems. Yeah. So let's get to the schedule.
Okay.
Is
it time? Is it that time again?
You got a read, big dog.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's time again.
This is Hollis Thomas from Philly Sports Trip. The schedule is out. The Eagles schedule is out. So go to phillysportstrips.com and reserve a trip. Reserve a spot to come and watch a away game with myself. We stay in the best hotels. We have the finest activities that we have planned for you. So go to phillysportstrips.com and tell them that the Tank sent you. Oh, and you heard it on A2D Radio.
I love you, man. I love you. And y'all, that's tequila he's drinking right there.
Oh, you talking about my whiskey business shirt?
Big dog in the house.
Yeah.
So let's listen. Last week we got to get through this. So we have half an hour. So that means we're not going to spend a lot of time.
Let's not spend a lot of time
on each one.
This is what we can do. We could go through on each one, and we don't have to give a dissertation on what the win or loss.
I think you're talking about me because I like to give a dissertation. I like to say why I'm saying what I'm saying, and this is a sports show that's kind of centered around the Eagles, and people do want to know our opinion based on our experience, having had played in the league for several years. So I try to do that.
Okay.
But I'm not going to do that now because we've been trying to get through the schedule the last 2 weeks, and we're going to get through it this week.
Yes.
But we got through 4 games last week.
Yes.
And you have, after the first 4 games, you have the Eagles at 4-0.
Correct.
And I also have the Eagles at 4-0. So week 5, we got the Rams Sunday at Los Angeles.
Yes.
Sunday, October 8th. What's you don't have to give, like you said, a dissertation, but what do you think?
I got a W there.
You think, did you ever struggle with West Coast games? No, you never did?
No. I was there to fight, and where they took me, I fought.
Right. I never struggled myself, but for some reason, teams that I played with or played on struggled on the West Coast, particularly at Denver. You hear people talking about the altitude.
Denver, everybody's struggling.
Yeah, talking about the altitude and it's hard to breathe. That wasn't ever a problem for me. I don't ever remember. I do remember there was a difference, in the first quarter or so, but it never really was a problem for me. But apparently it is for many folks. So, man, I see this game. They got some stretches here during the season where they're going to have to be on top of everything. Last year, when we look at the Eagles, they did have a few lulls during the season. But
one lull.
I mean, when I say lulls, I don't mean entire games.
Okay.
But you do have lulls in games.
Right.
They had some lulls that kind of opened my eyes. Okay, you can't do that next week. Otherwise, you're going to get beat. That kind of stuff.
Right.
But man, they got to be on top. For one, because everybody they play the Eagles are the team everyone's shooting for this year.
Yeah, they're the hunted currently.
They're the hunted right now. But they need to play like they're the hunter.
Okay.
So they have to be on their P's and Q's. Everybody's gearing up for the Eagles, so they're going to get everybody's best shot this year. This is a game that concerns me. One, because they're West Coast. Number two, because they're a decent team. They only have, they don't have a lot of weapons on defense. Arnold is good, and he can be a beast, but he was hurt last year.
Right.
I picked the Eagles to win. I'm going to say win.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. What are you waiting for?
Huh? What I'm waiting for?
Yeah. The CD, we got the next two games. I got them split the next two games only because of the way the schedule is. And I think because the next game is the Jets. At the Jets. I got us winning at the Jets, but I think it's going to take a little bit out of us.
You think?
well, one of the reasons is because I think it's going to be up there. It's going to be a hype game and stuff.
Right.
And I think we're going to kick their teeth in, but I think it's going to soften us up for the Dolphins.
Right. And you know what?
That's just going with the ebb and flow of the season. I never like to want to go with us taking the L, but I omitted from putting anything next to that particular game. Because it's like the games that I that concern me are like after you go on the run like what we just described at the beginning of the season, and then you go up there and you beat them with Aaron Rodgers. Right, because it's going to be hyped. We're going against our former GM Joe Douglas and the whole shebang. He's assembled a team up in New Jersey, and everybody's going to be up there. And the other part too is the Jets they're 0-11 against us. And
the other thing is, and I don't believe that they're good enough to stop our offense because we got a potent offense the way we have things, particularly since we've added Swift. They got a good defense. Right. So it's going to, like you said, and like I just said a little bit earlier, they've got to they got to cross all their T's every week and dot all of their I's every week. It's going to take total focus and effort and energy every week. Why? Because they're getting the best of everybody. Yeah, and the Jets are excited. The Jets have set expectations this year for Super Bowl because they have Aaron Rodgers. Aaron's got some tools. He's got some weapons with him, but they're not. They're not.
No.
They're not
cheese up front. Huh? They're Swiss cheese up front.
Right, but they're not good enough to beat the Eagles. But because, like you say, all the hype and all the energy and all the effort that it's going to take to win this game, I think you're right. I believe, and I had the Jets down as a win as well. The Jets. So I got you down for the Jets, and I said Jets. And the Jets. So we're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 0 right now. Yeah. But then, as you're saying,
I think it's going to be a letdown for the Dolphins. I just got a question mark about that game, just because of the physical nature in which I know that the Dolphins play with, both offensively and defensively.
And they got a lot of weapons.
On both sides of the ball. And I think we're going to be just so a little bit high and mighty from kicking the Jets' rump. I think this may be the letdown. I just got a question mark because I always think we're gonna go 17 or 18-0.
Well, no, I don't believe. Well, I think the same thing as you. It's kind of funny we're thinking this along the same line as they get into this stretch of really tough opponents and emotional games. They're gonna lose a couple of these games in this stretch, and this is one. I know Jalen wants to beat Tua because former teammate and all that, and national championship.
Actually, at that point, I don't think Tua will be. He
might not even be playing at that point. You're right.
He went to learn. He went to take karate or jiu-jitsu or whatever the hell it was to learn how to fall. I was like, dude, get serious.
Well, yeah, he's very he's right there at the edge when it comes to not playing. Being knocked out of a game. With his concussions and all. Yeah. We don't wish that. Or hope that on anybody.
But if it continues to happen, it's like
here
we go again.
Well, he's going to retire. He's going to have to retire.
Well, no. The thing is, it's like when you're watching games, he's like, hey, why does Teddy Bridgewater in the game? What the hell happened? Yeah. It's like so, but it's like you become. That's what people become injury prone because you feel like they're injury prone,
right?
And somebody was like, it's just a bunch of bad luck. It's not that much bad luck in the world.
Well, we have nobody on our team that can cover Tyreek Hill.
You think?
Nobody.
No, that was rhetorical.
I know it's rhetorical, and I'm going to take it to another level. There's nobody in the league that can cover Tyreek. And when they're on point, man, they're almost impossible to stop.
Then they got Waddle,
and they got and Waddle is fast as well. He's not as fast as the cheetah, but he's right. He's just a step behind. Yes,
bring somebody else in.
I think they drafted another wide receiver.
Another dude who ran like a 4.2 something.
Yeah,
so damn track team over there.
Yeah.
Just looking at hope for the best.
They but it's going to be a scoring fest.
It's going to be
on
a
that
cover.
day.
It's going to be a cover 3 day.
We're going to have to score. We're definitely going to score 20, 30, possibly 40 points to keep up with them. But I think that's going to be a loss. Yeah. I'm gonna have that down as a loss.
I just got it as a question mark.
But you got to make a decision. No, okay. You got to make a decision.
Okay, because when I say question mark, that means loss.
Okay, all right. Question mark means loss. So week 7. Now week 7, they're 6-1.
Yes, feels like it's a wake up call.
Wake up call. You think it's a wake up call?
Wake up call because of the next 2 games.
Well, they got the Commanders. Well, I said it right. I said that right.
Haters can't stand us.
Yeah, they got the Commanders week 8. Which they're going to, the Commanders are going to reap what all of the negativity and all of the pain and all of the
we dish out to them like it's the end of the world.
They're going to catch it because of the loss.
Right.
Yeah. Washington's going to catch it because of the loss. So Washington is a win. Washington. We're not even going to talk about them. Why don't we even talk about them?
I don't know.
It's a mess down there, man.
It's a mess a little bit.
It's a mess. They don't even know.
And then the damn dude who owned the Sixers in Boston. You got to be kidding me.
Why? And that was something I heard a while ago. Why would he do that?
Well, obviously the New Jersey Devils too, but
but they're not a direct opponent of a Philadelphia team. Why would you do that?
But he hangs with Robert Kraft, so.
What does that mean?
You know.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
And this is off track, but remember when? It's funny how little guys like me, get in the media, something negative, and people carried on for a long time. It's amazing how that whole thing with Robert Kraft got squashed.
Talking about when he was in the
you know exactly what I'm talking about.
In the bathhouse.
When he was in the bathhouse with the hookers.
With a 30, and he has a 37-year-old wife.
What happened with that? He bought his way out of it?
Pretty much. He played no contest.
Whatever happened with Brett Favre and those pictures of his penis?
Brett Favre? You tell me when he was with the Jets and he spent he sent
some pictures to someone in the front office of his penis.
Yes,
that got squashed too. What happened with that?
Unsolicited cock shots is what they're called.
Man, I'm glad we can talk about anything on ATB.
Sean Salisbury State got fired for the same thing.
Right, boys. Listen, man. There's a system in place that just it favors some.
Sweep it under the rug.
And it favors some and it really disfavors others.
Yes.
That's amazing to me. No, it's not amazing. It's not a surprise.
No, it's not.
It's just the way the world is.
It's just the way it is. And they try to look at you in the face like, well, whatever do you mean? It's like, really? I see you.
Psycho the Don, what's going on, man?
What's up,
what's
Frank?
going on? Jake. I see, who is that? Chucks? Yeah.
I see Chucks. I see Jake.
JD, come on, Rob, say the names. You see him better than I do.
Rob and Tom's in here. I see Jake already. My boy Nate.
There you go.
Yes, Joy.
Frank, Pete, Thomas.
Yep. Everybody. Hey, Frank. Thank you guys for joining us.
Yes, please. Thank you for hanging in there with us. We get off track sometimes, but we're not off track. We're actually on track. Yeah. This is what we do.
Yeah. Me
and Irving and Hollis.
The tank.
We're liable to go. Yeah. We're liable to take the conversation anywhere, y'all. Okay, we're gonna get back on track.
Yeah. So
week 9, the Dallas Cowboys.
I got two W's. Actually 2 W's.
Hopefully, this will be the first time Dak and Jalen square off, play against each other. They haven't really played against each other up until hopefully this year. Yeah. And I think Jalen is really looking forward to that.
Yes.
Dak is not who everybody says or thinks or touts him up to be. I really don't see him that way. His numbers are good. They are. He does put up good numbers, particularly last year when he came back after his injury. He was good, put up good numbers. But man, he's just not a winner. Yeah. He's not a winner, so to speak.
It's kind of, and he's like the Black Kirk Cousins as
Chucks, I see you.
As what his teammates called him. The kid that what was the kid? Randy Gregory. You know, he ended up going to Denver because Dak was he was courting courting what's the kid's name? Who ended up going to the Bills, the defensive end that was in Denver at first.
That was in Denver? Okay.
Yeah, I can't think of his name.
But what happened?
So Dak was courting him.
Trying to get him to Dallas. Okay.
With Randy Gregory and D-Law, Lawrence on the other side.
Okay, somebody got upset about that?
Well, yeah, because you throw 3 picks in the playoffs, like you was just that man.
Right. What?
So he called him the Black Kirk Cousins. And it's pretty much what you just said. It's kind of like at a certain point as a quarterback, you know, a quarterback can only get you to a certain point. That's why you end up drafting a quarterback. It was the same thing with Colin Kaepernick. They knew Alex Smith could only get them to a certain point.
Right.
Then they brought in Colin Kaepernick. Right. Alex Smith, then he gets traded to the Kansas City Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs, in turn, after a couple of playoff runs, they end up drafting Mahomes. And so Mahomes took them to the promised land.
Right.
The quarterback, there's certain quarterbacks that are only going to get you to a certain point.
Right. Well, when you look at a team and we're looking at who's going to win or who's going to lose, who's going to beat who's going to defeat the other one,
right,
you have to start with the quarterback. We're going to come back, y'all. We got a commercial break.
Hey, Birds fans, the NFL schedule has arrived and Philly Sports Trips has all the details now. Visit the site phillysportstrips.com. This is sure to be an epic season. Be sure to go there now to make sure that you don't get shut out. Join us in Tampa, LA, Seattle, or when we get revenge in Kansas City. Don't want to fly? No problem. Gather up your crew and hop aboard one of our signature boisterous bus trips to DC or New York. Sign up now and make sure to mention A2D. Don't miss out on the best Philly fan experience anywhere. Philly Sports Trip customers always stay at the best hotels and meet NFL legends. Book today.
All right, we're back.
Hey, quick sidebar. If he could put that what Chuck just said about Dak, well, we just talked about Dak Prescott.
Okay, there it is. Chuck, Dak is good. He's a good QB.
Yeah,
but I can't say he's great. No, he does. You're right, yeah. Chuck. He doesn't have it, and that's exactly what I said earlier. He's not a winner. He just doesn't have it. He's always going to throw an interception.
Yeah.
I don't care how well he's playing. He's going to give up that ball. If you wait long enough on defense, he's going to give up that ball. And he doesn't have Schultz this year.
Right.
Schultz was his dude.
Right.
He doesn't have Schultz. Schultz is gone. So he doesn't have Schultz to throw the ball to or as an outlet. So, and Ezekiel Elliott's gone, though he wasn't really,
he wasn't the back that he was when they were younger.
Right.
The funniest thing, too, is I think he's the guy who's thrown the most interceptions in the fourth quarter over the past few years is led by, I want to say, Josh Allen. He's thrown 36, but Dak is right up there with 30.
Right,
and he I think
he
Dak
will always throw the ball away.
He led the league in picks this year. That was the funniest thing with C.J. Gardner. C.J. Gardner, he missed 4 games and still led the league in interceptions, and so did Dak.
And so did Dak, yeah. So, he led the league in interceptions.
Exactly.
Well, they say Dak throws so many interceptions, he was throwing interceptions on his commercials. He even threw the interception on his commercial. So y'all remember that commercial with the ladies?
Yeah. So Tony Romo ended up, huh?
Yeah. So, I never got over Tony Romo either, man. That cat. Anyway, so right now we are at 8-1.
Yeah,
the Eagles are at 8-1.
Yeah, I like that going into coming out of the bye and then
going into the bye 8-1
and licking our wounds and stuff and getting ready for the game that I know that everybody has circled. We
Kansas
City. We have a
week 11.
I'm going to be up there
at Kansas
City. I'm going to the World War I Museum because I've never been.
Okay,
it should be an interesting trip with Philly Sports Trip. That's going to be a special trip as well as far as the World War I Museum.
Okay,
so if you want to go, sign up and you can go with me to the World War I Museum and learn. Let us learn together.
World War I.
Yes. We always were taught about in school. We always talk about World War II.
Yes,
but it's like you have to. I think that was one of the things, and I was just speaking with an instructor about this. No longer have they given kids the tools to go and look up stuff that they're interested in. It's like, because I asked the kid the other day, if I ask you, what's a periodical? Do you know what a periodical is?
Mm-hmm.
You know what one is?
No, periodical.
Yes.
It's I can't say the word. Go ahead.
It's just a magazine.
Right. But I want to use a different word.
But,
I want to say a different word.
It's the old school magazine. It was the old magazines that are in the library.
Right.
So it's like go ahead.
It's informative.
Informative.
Yes.
It's it's like the periodicals. That's what they call them in the library.
Right.
But so that's why you always had to give credit to the people when you did research papers. At the end, you had to credit every source that you went through to get. And I was actually just like, you don't know what old magazines are, the whole thing. I was like, libraries aren't used anymore. So
I was gonna say kids don't go to libraries anymore, man. They go to the internet. They Google it.
You used to have to still work where you wanted to learn as well. So
yeah. Oh, shoot. Anyway,
we got the Chiefs game.
My mother was the first African American to be allowed to work in the library in Mount Holly, New Jersey.
Oh wow!
Yes, years ago. Week 11, Kansas City at Kansas City.
I got us winning that one.
You have us winning that one.
Yeah, just because.
Just because of what?
Just because we should win.
Well, yeah, we should have won the Super Bowl. But listen, man, Patrick Mahomes has been in the NFL for 5 years as a starter.
Right.
In those 5 seasons, Mahomes has taken the Chiefs to 5 AFC championship games, 3 Super Bowls, and 2 Super Bowl titles, and has won 2 MVP awards in that 5-year span of time.
Sounds like he should have won 3 or 4. But but on that day,
when he lost Tyreek Hill, everybody said, "Oh, it's over for them. It's over there." It didn't matter. This cat is phenomenal. I'm not saying
I trust us to put up some points way more than we did last time.
Okay.
Especially, I love Steve Spagnuolo, but as a defense coordinator, he's the second coming of Jonathan Gannon.
Okay.
So I feel like we're gonna put up the points we need to do, and I feel like we're gonna stop them more than we did last time because we're gonna disguise some stuff and put them on notice. I feel like our defense is gonna be the reason we win this game, and it's not a makeup game. So because we don't get a damn Super Bowl ring afterwards. But it's to let you know that we can roll with the big dogs. And I think that's going to be one of the games that galvanize our defense and put everybody on notice. Yeah, it's not just a one horse race.
Well, we should have won the Super Bowl against Kansas City deep because of our defense. Because twice in the Super Bowl, the number one defense has faced the number one pass defense faced the number one passing offense, and both times those defenses won by 31 points. No. We were the number one pass defense. We were facing the number one passing offense, and we got beat. I believe because we're coming off the bye. Yes, had time, a little extra time to rest, a little extra time to prepare.
You don't think it had
because we have in the back of our minds what happened last year. We're not going to go out to Kansas City and allow the same thing to happen.
Yeah.
I have confidence in the Eagles that we will beat the Chiefs. We will beat the Chiefs. It's going to be a long, tough game, but it's going to be a game that will be victorious. So we're going to beat the Chiefs in week 11 after the bye. All right. And then week 12.
Again, it's losing to the Bills because we're going to be licking our chops because the 40 whiners are coming in.
Well, I have us losing to the Bills because the Bills are tough, man. The Bills are tough.
Okay.
They got we didn't play them last year.
You hear the stat I gave you?
We didn't play them last year.
You hear the stat I gave you?
I heard the stat you gave.
36 interceptions in game-winning drives in the fourth quarter.
Okay.
He will throw us the ball.
Yes, he will throw us the ball.
And they keep talking about they got a running back. But does the offensive coordinator have the tactical fortitude to run that back and quit running quarterback runs?
Well, they were 4th last year in scored points, 4th offensively, and they were 2nd in points allowed defensively. They got a great defense, bro.
Yeah.
They got we didn't play them last year. We didn't see them last year. We're coming off a big win, coming off a big win with Kansas City and facing another really good team.
Yeah, I said we would lose to the Bills because we're going to be looking to the 40 whiners.
Well, the Bills are a good team. 49ers.
40 whiners.
40.
Anytime your coach gets on social
and talks about
the media, talk about week 13,
right?
About your quarterback. How about this? You get an offensive line that can block.
Yeah.
Everybody keeps talking about if our quarterback, if your damn offensive line had a block. What do you mean? If our quarterback is what is the offensive line there to do?
To block,
okay.
Protect the quarterback, open the holes.
I thought this game had passed me up or something.
No, it didn't pass you.
Okay.
Up. So I have them down winning because they're still up in their arms about who's going to be the quarterback. I don't think Purdy's going to be back and available. I mean,
he's talking about being back week 1.
I don't know. He may be back week 1, but I don't think he's going to be as effective as he was before he got hurt. I think it's going to take a little bit of time because anytime you have an injury like that, particularly to that extent, it takes a while before you don't feel it, before it doesn't have any kind of impact on you. Even
though there will be the Will Levis syndrome, because we have you on tape now. Teams are not going to be surprised by what you can and can't do.
Right.
So it was like, we have you on tape, and it's this.
I think Purdy's a very capable quarterback.
I think he's capable.
I think he's a gamer. I do think he's a gamer. I think he's a winner. I think Purdy is a winner. I think he has the confidence to go out and lead the 49ers, but coming off that injury, I believe he's just going to be limited. They're still going to be kind of scrambling to figure out what they're going to do at that position.
You're forgetting the defensive coordinator is gone.
Yes. Yep.
So the latitude that he had for the F-ups, no. Okay.
49ers we have down as a win for the Eagles.
And then we're going to Dallas and kick their ass. I feel like this is going to be their first year, the first year we sweep them in a long time.
You think so?
Yeah.
We always struggle at Dallas, man. We always go down and fall on our face.
No,
I got Dallas.
What? So your first year as an Eagle?
I ain't talking about me.
What did we do?
I'm different.
What did we do?
We're different.
What did we do?
We went down there and whooped their behind.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I'm not talking about me though. I'm talking about who we're watching.
I know.
And who we're rooting for.
But the guys
I have no control over that. When it's in my hands, I know what's going to happen because I know what I'm going to do.
But the guys that we're watching, they know the rivalry. They know what's at stake.
But it hasn't stopped them in the past. It hasn't kept them in the past from.
I think they know a little bit better now.
Yeah, but it hasn't kept them in the past from losing one, winning one.
Yeah, whatever.
From splitting with Dallas.
I'm not writing the W by Dallas. I'm not writing the L by Dallas. I can never write an L by Dallas.
You never gonna write an L by Dallas?
Hell no.
All right. Just because my wife's a Dallas fan, I'm gonna put Dallas as a win.
No, I'm putting us win. Okay.
We win Dallas.
Yeah.
We win. So right now we are week 14. We are 12-2.
Yeah.
Seattle Seahawks.
I got us with I got us a lull here.
Yep.
Because I feel like and this is where rubber meets road, where you get up to sweep Dallas. And it's tremendous.
It's highs and lows.
Highs and lows.
Now you're going all the way across the country to the farther north end of the country.
Yes, well, my buddy James, who joined us, he'll be there to meet me in Seattle. I think it's gonna be a hard fought game.
Yeah.
I think we'll have a chance to win at the end, but I think that just the stuff from the previous week and stuff, it's like it's one of those things where you're not gonna be able to win all of them as much as you like to. But I don't think we're gonna be, as a fan, I don't think we're gonna be disappointed at no point this year with our team, because I think they're going to give it to us all.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's one of those things where I understand the schedule, and I feel like this will be one of those letdowns.
Right. And it won't be that they'll play sloppy and make a lot of mistakes. It'll just be one of those things where the schedule is such that it's just impossible to win every game.
Yeah,
that's all.
But not only that, you don't think Pete Carroll is going to be these are the NFC champs from last year. He's going to pump his squad up.
Everybody's going to do that.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to do that.
It's going to be one of those. Well, Pete Carroll is a good coach, so
right. And listen, hats off. Shout out to Geno Smith.
Yeah,
last year, that cat, man.
Yeah, but he wasn't no damn comeback player of the year, though.
They gave it to him.
Comeback player of the year for somebody. It should have been Brandon Graham.
Well, he must have been so bad as a quarterback.
No, Brandon Graham had double-digit sacks.
Right, yeah.
It don't matter. It was about the player who was injured who came back.
Yeah.
He didn't come back for no damn injury.
Right.
He came back from getting his
from being
an idiot and getting his jaw broke because he didn't pay his linebacker back because he missed his celebrity weekend.
He came back from sucking as a quarterback. That's
exactly. Yeah. For being a jerk.
But here you go. You gotta give a shout out to him, because the cat threw for 4,200 yards last year, 30 touchdowns. Come on, man. That's
it's about damn time
when nobody expected any of that from him. every time I watched him play last year,
you was waiting on them to implode.
Right. Yeah. I'm like, this is the same cat I've been watching for the last few years, throwing the ball like this, making these kinds of decisions, carrying this team on to victories, being confident in himself and putting up these kinds of numbers. Well, man, it was a total surprise. So I'll be surprised.
Right.
I'll be surprised again if he puts up those kinds of numbers again. Mm-hmm. He's got the weapons.
The weapons, yeah.
He's got the weapons. Maybe he can maintain that confidence and carry this over to this season. But I do have this game as a loss, just not because the Seattle Seahawks are better than the Eagles, but just because of how the schedule is and the games that they play and the ebbs and the flows, the ups and the downs, and the intensity of some of these games they had before this. They're bound having to take that trip all the way across the country.
Right.
They're bound to just maybe slip up a little bit.
Well, it's not a slip up. It's like the
team.
It's a
slip up.
It's okay.
It's a slip up because the Seattle Seahawks have no business beating the Eagles.
Okay.
And if they do, it's a slip up by the Eagles.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll be a slip up.
I think we're gonna bash the Giants' skull then.
You think so?
Yeah, I think that's that's going to solidify the rest of the season. And the last two games are pretty much we're going to play backups.
So the Giants are week 16. We're going to beat the Giants.
You're going to whoop them like cornbread batter.
I just have never been impressed by Daniel Jones.
I love the coach. I love the coach, but I think that
but Daniel Jones.
The thing that's going to kill them this year is they're going to be not in so much turmoil, but it's going to be some dissension in the ranks because you're paying your quarterback way more than the true MVP of your offense. The true MVP of your offense is Saquon Barkley, and you're paying your quarterback way more than him.
Yeah, but Saquon, his mentality to me is similar to Jalen Hurts, where he's not going to do anything to rock the boat.
He doesn't have to do anything to rock the boat, just not being there until he has to. And it's like you can put a backup out there if you want to, but we're not lining up eight. We'll line up 8 in the box and stop that backup, and then put Danny Dimes, and then put somebody on Danny Dimes, on Daniel Jones, Mr. Pick Six.
He is Mr. Pick Six, and
he was
6 and 6.
Yeah, he was number pick 6. And he throws them.
Week 17, Arizona Cardinals. I don't care if we're playing the backups. We need to beat the Arizona Cardinals. I think we're gonna whoop them like cornbread batter just because they ruined our Super Bowl. Right. Arizona is a win. Yeah. Well, Jonathan Gannon. It's just all you got to do is say Jonathan Gannon. Yeah, Jonathan Gannon. We got it, and all that flabbernacle and foolishness going on during the Super Bowl week with him, talking to the Cardinals. That was an innocent phone call. Trying to make it seem like, things were innocent and it was by accident. That's a bunch of crap. Yeah. And then the Eagles, I'm still not sure why the Eagles had to give up a draft pick for that. No, the Arizona had to give up a draft. No, they gave, but Eagles had to give up 2. So they moved up to a third. Was it a third rounder? I had it written down. They moved up to a third rounder. Yeah. And the Eagles had to give like a third rounder next year and something else. You sure that wasn't a trade that we did? Well, it's just like a trade, but still, why does the Eagles? We traded with somebody else, but we got one of their third round picks. I got it written down here somewhere. Okay. Undrafted. Let me find my notes, man. I keep all my notes. And okay, here it is. Third rounder. Okay, that's what they had to give us. Right. For a third rounder and a 2024 5th round pick. So we got a third rounder in pick 66. Mm-hmm. The 66 pick in the third round. We had to give them for our 94th pick in the third round. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we switched picks. Well, that was just a trade, but But we got it. Then we get another third round because we got how many third round picks we have? And we had to give them 2024 5th round pick. No, we got an extra third round pick because they If you look at that was the 66 pick. No, but we traded to get in that spot. Because we had picks 66 and 67 because we had another pick. Hold on. My question is why do we have to give up a 5th rounder in the 2024? Because we traded up to get to the spot with somebody else. Yeah, but why do we have to pay a penalty for his? No. We traded up for somebody else because we got their pick and then we got another pick that we traded up to get. Okay, well, let me ask you this. What did we get from them for the tampering? The third round pick. You just said we traded up.
Do you know? Hold on. I'm looking for my notes for the. Okay, so we had the 65th and 66th pick.
Right.
We traded up from where we were with our third round pick.
Okay.
To get one of those picks.
Yeah. 66.
And we got the other third round pick because they were tampering.
That's the 66th pick.
Yeah.
Right.
But that's
what I just said.
No, we got an extra third round pick.
But it was the 66th pick.
Yeah, but we have the 65th.
I'm not going to fuss with you, man.
The 65th and the 66th pick.
I'm not going to fuss with you about this. Hey, look, anybody listening, I know the time is up for us today. Anybody listening, do you know the exact? We're gonna find out what the exact was.
Yeah, funny.
Apparently, we don't know what happened with the picks.
Yes.
I have in my research that we gave up, or we got the 66th pick in the third round. Ralph, do you know? Put it up on the screen. we got the 60th.
We traded with somebody else to get the back-to-back picks.
The 66th pick in the third round and the 94th pick in the third round were involved in this whole tampering thing, and a 5th round pick in 2024. Okay. That's what I got out of my research. I guess maybe my research wasn't correct.
I don't know, but quickly pay homage to rest in peace to Tina Turner.
Yes, Tina Turner passed away on yesterday. Yes. One of the greatest of all time.
Yes.
We had one of the greats last week passed away. I'm sorry.
Jim Brown.
Jim Brown, one of the greatest, actually, in my opinion, the greatest of all time football players, advocate for humanity, and Tina Turner today, or yesterday. So we just wanted to shout out Tina Turner.
Yeah.
Everybody pray for her family. She was a great influence in the music arena. One of the greatest.
Yes.
There'll never be another Tina Turner.
No.
Great movie with Whitney Houston. It wasn't Whitney Houston. Angela Bassett. Angela Bassett with Tina Turner.
And well, don't forget Lawrence Fishburne.
Lawrence Fishburne. Ike. Yeah, well, Ike.
What the problem is?
He wasn't the start, man.
He wasn't the star.
He
made the movie.
Yeah, well, yeah, but it wasn't in a good way.
No, he made the movie.
He was a bad guy.
but today is National Wine Day.
National Wine Day. History with Hollis. Go ahead.
Today's May the 25th, 2023. It's the 145th day of the year. There's 220 of these puppies remaining. Today is National Wine Day. Brown Baggett to lunch today, Geek Day. And the events that I put together is from my childhood. In 1964 Busch Stadium from my hometown. It was ground was broken, which they tore it down in 2005 and built another one. And in 1968, the Gateway Arch, which is Gateway to the West in St. Louis, was dedicated. Today's birthdays are Ian McKellen, who's Magneto to everybody, 1939, 1963, Mike Myers, and 1973, Daz Dillinger. That's what I got for you today on this day in history.
Hollis' history. So you have the Eagles at 14-3.
Yeah.
I have the Eagles at 14-3. Same record they had last year.
Yeah. See when you watch, when you look at it, a lot of people think that they're going to be the hunted. I think we've got added some young pieces that are going to be doing some hunting as well. So I think they added a good mix of young guys who are going to be as hungry to get a title as the other guys who were there.
But definitely not going to be as easy this
it's
year
not going to be easy
to be 14-3 as they were last year. But realistically, they can have the same record.
Yes.
And realistically, they ought to get to the Super Bowl and not just get there, not just make an appearance.
Dominate.
But dominate. Yes. Whoever that may be. And I predicted, and everybody, you can hold me to this. I predicted when right after the draft, that the Super Bowl in 2024 will be between the Eagles and the Chiefs. It will be a repeat performance, except the Eagles will come out on top this time. All right, y'all, we're done. We're here at Vetted. Thank you for watching us. Sorry we didn't get to more of your comments. Listen, our in-studio assistant is not here today. She normally holds up. She's going to start holding up the comments so we can see the comments, and we'll be able to address some of your comments and interact with you a little bit more. But thank you for watching us here today on Vetted with Irving Fryar and Hollis Thomas. I'm Irving. That's Hollis. We'll see you next week, Thursday, 5 p.m. right here on A2D Radio.